Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Repentance, and I gotta tell you, I've been making waves. Isaac's done, Maggie is not, as we saw. What about Judas? I wish you could do True Ending Delirium. You could do Mega Satan Delirium. I mean, like, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves, but let's give it a try, man. A streak of three. How about that? I still maintain, and this is not meant to be like sour grapes, but I maintain this character, Tainted Judas, slightly harder to play on the keyboard, just because hitting Q with your left hand, like ring finger, is a little touchy, versus, you know, just smashing a button on your controller. I'm not gonna relearn, you know, oh, let's 4 wins in a row, let's go. I'm not gonna relearn, you know, 4,000 hours of muscle memory. I'll just, you know, probably learn to deal with it. I'm just making conversation. I apologize. I love the Keeper's Elbow, man. I love the Keeper's Elbow. If we can make it work. This is I mean, it's a totally fantastic start. Dark Judas is good already, but what we got going here obviously makes it even better. And I gotta tell you, I've just been feeling in the zone lately. For whatever reason, I've just, and not all the YouTube runs have fulfilled that, but certainly on Twitch yesterday, I had 2 very solid runs, both of which I was quite pleased with, and all 3 of which I should say I was quite pleased with, despite the fact that they were modestly difficult. And I gotta tell you, and this is gonna seem again like sour grapes. We might as well just call the episode Sour Grapes at this point. But it's also awesome for me that the Tainted Isaac post-it note is done, because now I don't have to get into a discussion every 10 minutes about whether it's better to keep Mom's Pearls or Mom's Heal when neither of them actually have an impact on your ability to succeed. But I digress. We can't afford you. Goodbye, my sweets. We won't... okay, just remember. What's the main goal here? If we keep in mind that the main goal is Mega Satan, then we're okay. Was I was wrong, right? Like, we have Alt Path? Yeah, it's not True Ending. It's Alt Path that's available. So I would say if somehow we get something amazing on this run, or on this floor specifically, we might consider the pivot, the classic pivot to the alt path, but I don't mind just letting it ride. Okay, well, interesting. Especially considering the extra, like, invulnerability we can get. It's pretty good. There's certainly a temptation here. I've had this a lot lately, man. I'm not complaining, to be clear, but maybe this, I don't know. I mean, Delirium is probably harder than the alt path, so maybe this is a good opportunity for us to actually pursue Delirium, which is also probably harder than Mega Satan. But you know, the opportunity to get Mega Satan and Delirium on the same run means I'd probably prioritize Mega Satan. Either way, this is going to be a fun one. We're off to a good start. Happy to be here, as usual. Actually, today's like a bit of a, let's not call it a landmark, but I did manage, like, this morning. It's only 9:53 a.m. I slept, like, there were like 2 days in a row on the weekend and early this week where I slept like pure garbage and just didn't feel right, you know? Slept like a baby last night, and wow, that's a lot of money here. Does this give us a red heart or just a demon heart? Just a demon heart? Then we will still pursue Mega Satan here, at least. But I slept like a baby last night, man, and like I don't know, I feel like $1 million so far this morning. Yesterday was Schooled, the trivia competition on Twitch. I'm happy to report I did manage to come out tops in the group of 8 that I had. There a couple questions I disappointed myself on. One is it took all of my paradox wisdom to remember that the body of water that separates the Atlantic Ocean from the Mediterranean is called the Strait of Gibraltar. I almost wrote the Aegean Sea, and then I thought about what European geography looks like, and I'm like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And then, I will admit, my knowledge of, European royal history is pretty low. 20th century European history, I got a little bit more awareness of. Modern Europe, or classical, like, medieval and Renaissance era Europe, not so much. So I don't rag on myself too much for this, but yes, it is true that I thought that Queen Elizabeth established, Queen Elizabeth the First, not the second, that would be ridiculous, established the Church of England. But no, of course it was not Queen Elizabeth the First, it was Henry VIII, as I now know. And wow, you got that wrong? What's wrong with you? So Soul of the Lost is literally just Holy Mantle, right? Like, I get it twisted every time, but I don't think we want anything here, but I just like the idea of membership card to begin with. But I was proud of myself for some other stuff. Like, the question I actually won on was, you had two algebraic expressions, and you had to solve for x and y. And then I remembered, and it's literally like 9th grade algebra. Maybe depending on where you went to school, it might even be earlier. But just in my head to remember that, like, oh, you can, in one of the equations, you can substitute, the variable x for the equation that is like x equals this, and then simplify it down, and then plug that value that you got into the other expression in order to get the value of y. I was like, you know what? I'm proud of myself that I still got that information kicking around back there. Mega Satan. Mandelbaum. I'm also, and I'm not trying to flex, but the question that was like, what was France called in the Roman times? And I apologize for the phrasing on that, but I'm so surprised that was the one that, like, people seem to have, like, they're flabbergasted. I'm like, bro, you gotta listen to some Dan Carlin podcasts. You haven't listened to all the podcasts about Caesar conquering Gaul? Like, those are classics. I thought that was like required reading or listening, I suppose. But anyway, yeah, it was a fun time. It's funny, like, you wouldn't I'm sure if you're watching at home, the questions are like, they're not hard, at least to the level that we got to. But you find yourself second guessing. The number, I think one of the first questions was like, what was 36 plus 54? The number of times that in my head I was like, it's 90, right? It's 90? It's 90? Is it 90? It's 90? I think it, and then I'm like, I almost want to like write it out longhand, and I'm like, is it 90 though? And I think it just comes, it's nerves to some extent, but then also there's like, there were 180,000 people watching on the main feed, which is like a lot. It's like literally like the size of the city that's next to my rural hometown plus 50%. So it was, you settle into it though, but I'm stoked. It was a lot of fun. Is it as fun as I would say getting holy water? I don't know, but yeah, I had a good time. There's some good Isaac runs after that yesterday. Just had a good day in general, honestly. Especially when I slept well. Oh, man. When I woke up this morning and I looked at the clock and it was like 8:07, and I remembered in my head that I fell asleep around, like, my last waking memory was at like 11:33 or something. I was like, that's the, and it's gonna be a lovely day. I had to use the McDonald's version, so I didn't get DMCA'd. Well, I'm not worried. The backpack is not too expensive down there, but I think I'm a map man. On this one. And that could be a secret room. You never know in today's day and age where they pop these down. So, from an Isaac standpoint, what do we need? I don't know. The key pieces is really the cheeky but also literal answer. So fighting the angel statues is going to be a gimme. I've pretty much stopped using dark arts just because I mean, for invincibility, I think it's good, but for other purposes, I don't think it's really that relevant right now. Relevant to get around this guy. Like, everybody hates Bambino, man. He's taking the money, too. Oh, we sliced him in his armpit, dude. That should be worth, like, triple damage. Where you going, Bambino? Where you going, Bambino? Nowhere. Okay, so we got perfection. It's very nice. It won't last, to be fair, but still. And a speed upgrade. Megasaden. Megasaden and Delirium if possible. Megasaden, Delirium if possible. Delirium and Megasaden if possible. No, that's not how that works. Apart from that, like, you know, not that much is really going on right now. Baby's having some milestones. I don't know if that would hurt us. It probably doesn't, but I don't. Perfection's pretty valuable. We'll probably lose perfection at some point on this floor anyway. At which point we could go in there without having to worry about it. Baby's having some milestones. She's crawling real well. She's babbling a lot, and I swear to you, and you're gonna say like this is a stretch, but we speak. And mostly Kate, because I'm not, you know, a very confident Korean speaker, to be honest. But we speak a little Korean to the baby. Kate much more so than myself. There it goes. But, you know, we sometimes will be like appa, which is Korean for dad. Or we're like amma, which is Korean for mom. And I swear, yesterday she was kind of going like, and I know that you know is it like pareidolia or whatever, pareidolia, the tendency for human brains to see patterns and recognizance in areas where it's not, you know, it's perhaps just random. She'd been going which is not. I was like, that doesn't count, obviously, as much as I would like it to. Yesterday when I was changing her diaper, I went. Appa. I swear she went appa like as crisp as a spring day. But we're still, I would say, we're in the determining phase of trying to figure out whether that is something that would qualify as a first word. Because I don't know, there's like the statistician part of me that's so lucky here. We should fight here first, like just in case things get, I don't know, we teleport like a fool somehow. The statistician part of my brain is like, you know, a broken clock is right twice a day. She might have just, you know, unintentionally made the noise. But either way, it's less about like what the word is and much more about the fact that she's climbing that milestone ladder really quickly. I mean, like, and maybe parents of newborns can relate to this. I hope so. It's the reason I'm bringing it up. But people always tell you like, oh, kids grow up so fast. And they do, but they don't. Kind of. You know, I'm sure it looks that way in hindsight more so than while it's happening with a newborn. But you know, for our child, people are like, oh, you know, wow, she's changed so much in just like 3 months. And you're like, well, yes and no. She has, don't get me wrong. She's looking cute, she's cognizant, she's spry. She's curious, she's developing her personality, but it's not like she's out there, you know, she's not driving us to the grocery store or anything. You know, but then, I think it ramps up, because, like, Kate watches this, it's like a Korean mommy vlogger, basically, and their daughter is, like, 8 months older than ours. Wow, dude, just whiffing on these. I don't know, maybe tier detonator pogs here. We certainly don't need extra bombs. Maybe this is just a donation machine run. I don't know. And I'll stay true to my word, and we'll go back and open this curse room here. But you know, so we're getting a little bit of a preview. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think we take it. I think I trust my instincts, and I just leave here. I guess we could have dark arts even with perfection, but it's academic, I suppose, at this point. Now we could play the room here 7 times, and you know what? I think I'm a wild enough dude to actually get that done right here. Let's give that a try. we'll either get a bunch of money, which would be a nice little donation, or we'll get spirit hearts, or I will have miscalculated. we got the Bible. Okay, cool. Not worth, for the record. I thought maybe, you know, if we got our HP, we'd get another key piece or something. Spirit hearts? What the heck? Okay, we'll hold that. I mean, actually, we won't hold that because it's useless for us, but there's a real temptation for me to play it one more time because I think I might be one away. But can you blame me for not wanting to, like, ruin the run to maybe get, like, you know, Trinity Shield or something? I think we know where we stand here. Let's get out of here and rebuild it. But you know, so we were getting a little preview of how things would go for us in the future, for sure, and it's nice. But there's a lot of, like, you know, for the first few months, you know, like month, let's say 8 to 12, there's a lot of, like, you know, slowly words start coming out. She starts expressing herself, you know, that's awesome. Don't get me wrong. But we watched a video yesterday where the kid was in, like, you know, kinder gym and was running around and grabbing stuff and interacting with other kids. And that's where it really hit home for me, where I was like, whoa. This is about to get real. Like, right now, we go, you know, it's like we're still kind of, you know, sitting on the egg. I don't mean, like, you know what I mean. You know, like, if you're unfamiliar with the human gestation process, you know, humans, they got big old brains, which means they got big old heads. If they popped out, you know, relatively fully formed, like other animals in the animal kingdom, you'd be breaking pelvises on the way out of the womb, right? Which is, you know, not so good for particularly the mother. So, you know, I guess evolutionarily there's been pressure to have the children a little early, even when a little bit more time, you know, in the waiting for the custard to set would benefit them a little bit. So instead, you know, they call, like, the first 3 months after the baby is born, some people call it the 4th trimester, because it's like the child is still extremely, you know, developing and you know, really reaching I'm trying to think about how to phrase it. It's not like it's phrased weird. I just want to be as unambiguous as possible. You know, it's not like they're going to pop out like a 6th arm or something like that. Just the 5 that they're normally born with. And then the, I don't even know what that is, man. Genesis. Hold on. This is one you look up. Genesis. Repentance. On use, the character, including stats and initial items, is reset and teleported to a unique bedroom that acts like an I am error room. It has a bed, 2 random chests, 2 sacks, and a random trinket. The only way out is through the beam of light. For every item removed using Genesis, there will be a set of 3 items from the removed item pool to choose from, each set appearing one after the other. If used on one of the final floors of the game, the beam of light will be replaced with a crawl space that leads Isaac back to the starting room of the floor he used it on. Okay, I have no idea. This is the longest article on the Isaac Wiki I've ever seen in my entire life. Can I tell you, though, it seems like fun. Before we use it for real, let's get our key piece. No, thank you. So I believe, I mean, in principle, I think this will actually be bad for us. We have a great run. We stand to lose the items that make it a great run. However, if I'm reading this correctly, I think that we get the ability, for every item that it steals from us, I think we get the ability to draft another item from that pool, which is really good. So Dr. Fetus, we'll expect to get a worse item, although we could get a better one, because the average set of 3 items from the item pool will not give us something as good as Dr. Fetus. But, you know, 7 seals, for example, and all these angel pool items that we have, there's a chance we could get something pretty sick out of that. I don't know if this is going to screw up our overall run, by the way, but it is what it is. Okay, so first, yes, we take Binky. Oh, you just take the best item available. Okay. We'll take divorce papers. This is really cool. We could have gone... It's like a magic draft. That's funny. We could have gone for a synergy. Oh, we did just get Guppy, maybe? Or I guess it doesn't count because we were... because we gave up our other synergy, but that's okay. Out of these, we're pretty close to the tier cap, so damage would be nice, but let's get tiers. Damage is maybe easier to come by. Infestation 2 or Ipecac, or this is really good too. It just grabs enemies and freezes them. This is tough, man. I'm gonna take Ipecac though. Believe it or not, I think a Stapler is great, but our damage is so good. I'm gonna take what essentially amounts to HP. I think what's our fire rate like? Pretty good. More tiers with Ipecac is always fun. I thought about taking the quarter, but let's take Squeezy. Eyeball tiers maybe is a little too much here. I want to see what technology does for us. Like, how does this? Oh my god, I don't know. we're a little late in the game, I think, for Dreamcatcher to pop off. Let's try it. It's fun. Don't be a baby. Get a trinket and a spirit heart, I suppose. We'll take more damage. I think we'll take tractor beam, but this is kind of already had tractor beam, but that's okay. I like our flies. Why? Excuse me. I was gonna say why I thought our flies would do 40 damage, but that's not correct. I'll take 9 volt. I think that still works here. I'll take mulligan for certain. And that's it. So we'll rest. Don't forget the rest. Guarantee he forgets to rest. Guarantee. Okay, well, there's your guarantee broken. It's worth about as much as my extended warranty from the Ford dealership. And I don't know where we're going now. I don't know where this is taking us. I think it took us to the depths too. Which is actually totally fine. Okay, let's see how this looks now. It's good. The only downside, obviously, we can't really shoot enemies that get close to us, which is a little scary. But the actual damage we got here is super cool. Dude, Genesis, that's such a neat idea for an item. Thought maybe we could hit the statue there. Now, I will admit... Whoops. We've created quite the spicy run. But when you factor in the fact that we have, like, unlimited range... I mean, like, basically, we have a literal, like, death ray. It helps when we don't actually have to shoot it. I know you're I was gonna say, you're an HP up, are you? No? A tears up and we're at the cap? Okay. Thought you were an HP up. I don't know. So, Genesis, like, maybe you just end up calling this episode, like, the coolest item in Isaac. That seems really neat. And that's Zane, man. I mean, like, I guess on a literal level, does it seem that zany to be able to, like, literally tailor your run to whatever you want it to be? I don't know. For me, it kind of seems neat. I like it. I would take that in a heartbeat. I think pretty much every time it shows up. I'm not gonna mess with our existing trinket situation. I did skip the planetarium possibility here. It doesn't really matter. Like, if we break the cap at some point, I'll be happy to see that. Shot speed down, literally irrelevant. Speed up is nice. I can see forever is fine. We'll go to our item room. I certainly think I could lose. Just because of the explosive capabilities we got here. I don't think I will, but it could happen. So I gotta remind myself, what's the game plan? Having already gotten the angel statue, or both key pieces, I should say, we don't have to fight... Well, we certainly don't have to fight Hush, just the shoehorn delirium. I think we can just take... maybe the angel path. Oh no, we want to take the dark path, right? Because we have the trinket that'll give us an item room in a shop down there. Plus, of course, the negative, pardon me, will give me some extra damage. Apologies for the throat clear. It do just be happening, though. I told you, it's just, there's built-in... When you hit 30 years old on your 30th birthday, The almighty above grants you a delicious bounty of phlegm. I hate to say it. None of these are good enough. Succubus is great, but our existing damage is not like what it's all about. You know, it's the explosive aspect of it. Our actual on-paper damage is not that impressive, I think. Boom XL. We did have the HP, but I'm also not trying to risk it too much. There's a better way to phrase that joke. It's like on you know, the baby Jesus' birthday, the wise men brought frankincense, gold, frankincense, and myrrh. On his 30th birthday, they brought him throat mucus and a case of sciatica. Hi-yo! I don't know. That's how you know the joke's over, when you hear the hi-yo. Look, there had to be like one joke over the course of this episode, right? Anyway, did I say, I can't remember what I was talking about. I feel like I've been off on a, I was off on a tangent, but then we got like we got Genesis, which was a lot of fun. Like, this has been a noteworthy episode for me, for sure. Help me. It's not bad at all. But I have an actual, not a huge, but like a little Isaac backlog that allowed me to record an episode of Snake RX today. And you know, it's been a while. I mean, I think I recorded like some Fall Guys at some point. Like but apart from that, it's essentially just been like, you know, Isaac episodes are bespoke recordings. Everything else is Twitch recordings. Schedule's been a little bit more like open here in the morning. Allows me to get ahead on Isaac, and then everything kind of flows from that. You know, when I get ahead on Isaac, I'm like, now I can start to, and we're not getting back to, you know, 4 or 5 videos made per day specifically for the YouTube channel. That's, you know, kind of asinine. That I would even put that idea into people's heads. So I apologize to myself, but certainly starting to get to the level where now and then, maybe like a couple of times a week, we'll be working in like a new bespoke video, not a series, but you know, just a, hey, I had a little bit of extra time, so we'll play some stuff that's kind of been tickling my fancy, and then again, we'll from there just very, very slowly, drip, 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 maybe get some newish content out there. Don't call it a comeback, but it is kind of exciting. It's not my ideal room right now. I would like to leave. I'm imagining at this point, because keep in mind, we may end up fighting Delirium, right? If that's the case, and I want that to be the case, we do need to concern ourselves with our HP. What we have right now is fine, but it might not be fine forever. Getting even something like the Relic would help a lot. I mean, we have a 24% chance of a deal with the Angel here. Small percentage chance of a deal with the Devil. Oh. Of a deal with the Devil. Either one could be useful. I would definitely love to see them. Obviously, you know, an Angel deal for free kind of appeals more to me right now. So clearly I'm wrong, by the way, about the way that this trinket works. It doesn't give you an item room and a shop on the womb. Okay, so what it does do then, it gives you an item room and a shop in the dark room and possibly also in Shoal. By the way, I do apologize. I'll be the first to tell you, we are basically playing this tainted character as if their unique mechanic doesn't exist. Well, that's not fully true. One mechanic fully exists, a complete inability to get red hearts of any kind. That's been holding me back, otherwise we'd be freaking steamrolling this even to a larger extent than we already are. Great stuff. Didn't get our deal. We have the negative. We will be heading downwards. We don't need to fight Hush. So the path is Mega Satan for sure, Delirium hopefully. I went up. Okay, I'm... Why? It's okay. My thing is not running down the content as quickly as possible. Obviously, I'm not trying to just justify like a totally preventable mistake. My thing is more like, as long as the video has a purpose, I'm a happy man. And this video does have a purpose. It's to demonstrate how cool Genesis is. I don't even know what character we unlocked that for beating something as, but something with, I don't know, phrasing, Bueller. The other thing, and of course this is, you know, it's never a problem until it affects me, right? That's my own bias coming into play. However, can I run something by you for quality of life? If you disagree with me, feel free. I'm not trying to just incept you into, you know, agreeing with me. What if when you took the Polaroid or the negative, it only made that... Okay. It only made that portal appear after you beat... Mom's Heart. What? Like, I'm running it through my head to see if that's a problem. I guess, like, there might be some cases where you're... I guess you're like, oh, I wanted to go on the dark path, but... Like, maybe, you got halfway down the dark path and you're like, oh, it's like... or you got through the womb and you're like, actually, it's too hard. I'm just gonna take the coward's way out by only doing the cathedral? But then I'm like, what percentage of the time does that happen? Very little, at least for me. Versus the amount of times that, like, I accidentally step in the wrong portal just because I'm mindlessly kind of not paying attention. I acknowledge my own role in this, by the way. That's what I'm saying there. You might say, just make sure you always pick the right path. Oh, yeah, just make sure you know, you never make a mistake. You sound like somebody that, like, you know, oh, I don't... My seatbelt, I don't need one, because the way I protect myself when I have, when I'm driving my car is not crashing. You know, we gotta factor in that this little, you know, meat light bulb we got between our ears is not necessarily 100% perfect. I was trying to look for a better word. Immaculate. There you go. Yeah, it makes mistakes, and you know, I mean, this one was on me on a conscious level, for sure. But just don't think about that. Think about Genesis, man. Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis. When I was broke, man, I couldn't picture this. Well, this may be the end of the run, then. I don't know really what else I could do here. Except apologize. But I had a great time. No matter what, like, I had an awesome time on this run. And I look forward to Genesis, like... There's so many other ways to play that. Like, I basically just took the first item that it gave me the opportunity to take, right? As soon as it gave me Genesis, I was like, I'm out of here. But you could definitely also just use it like later. You could hold it for like a whole run and then draft at the end when you'd have more draft options. It's a very interesting way to play this. Okay, rare ending unlocked. For now, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. It's a great deal. Of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. I apologize, but also I'll see you next time. See ya.